The Lexus LFA is a truly special car, and I think it's one of the most important, innovative and special cars that Toyota have ever come out with. That group that created this car and took 9 years to develop produced something immaculate and unique, and I think it's a wonderful car. Not a lot of people know about it though. I don't think any kids of the current generation are going to have a clue what this is unless they've had prior warning of it or been introduced to it before. There's not a lot of opportunity for it to be introduced because it wasn't a great success. But if you haven't heard of the LFA, just do a quick Google search of it now and look at the magnificence of it. This is a Japanese Ferrari 599, but with it coming from Toyota, it's got a V10 instead of a V12. It doesn't take anything away from the looks, and to be fair, you'd think it would have a V12 because the sound of it is so unique. This high-pitched whine that sort of echoes that of an F1 car from decades ago. It is a great sounding thing, and it definitely isn't just the sound. It's got 552 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, and I think that, for a car from Toyota, is pretty impressive. And when it looks like that, you don't really care about the couple of seconds difference that competitors would have over this. The look of it is transparently Japanese. It's sort of like an origami style take on any sort of car that you've seen. The back end is quite clearly like a Japanese form of the R8. I think it's a beautiful looking thing. And when that spoiler goes up on the back, and it's this thin, high positioned spoiler, it looks like a 2009 F1 car. When you see this in white, all I think of with that spoiler up is just Jensen Button's brawn, and I think that's just me, but that's what it reminds me of, and it adds to it. It so adds to the look of this. If any badge snobs were to ever say anything about it, mate, this can do 202 mile an hour, and I don't care what car you're in, if it can do over 200 mile an hour, looks like that, it doesn't matter what badge is on the front of it. And if anything, this adds to the authenticity of it. This adds to the value of it. It is subtle and unique. No one else is going to have this on the road if you were to drive this. That's the point of a supercar. You get people looking at it going, what is this? It's why I love the Corvette C8 in alternatives to other cars, and I love this. The only problem is, it's not like the C8 that it's cheaper in comparison to its competitors or alternatives. No, and this is the reason why it didn't do so well. This is the reason why it is unheard of, because not a lot of people bought them because they were 340 grand when they came out. It was over 1.5 times the price of any of the alternative cars, and if you were going for something like that, that pays a heavy price. You have to be really in love with this and really believe in this for it to be, a feasible purchase for you. And the people that did are going to profit from it now, because the second-hand values of these are ridiculous, if you can even find one. These are that rare that you will not be able to pick them up easily. You can't do a quick Auto Trader search for it. But even when they were this expensive, Toyota weren't making a profit on them. They were loss-making items, even with a 340 grand price tag. But this is the reason why I think it is the best thing to come out of Toyota. Like I said, 9 years worth of development, and the cost that went into producing a truly great sports car makes this so amazing. They made this their sole focus and were willing to sacrifice anything to get the best product that the whole group could come up with. And that effort produces this amazing car that no other car company does. It's like how I criticise BMW, it's like how I criticise Mercedes, because if they were to put the same effort that Toyota did for this to produce a Lexus supercar, you would have people not only raving about it, but with the size of those, they could produce them en masse and make it profitable. The fixed costs would be spread across the multiple amount of cars produced, and they'd sell. And not only would they be a financial success, they'd also be a success in the eyes of critics and be heralded for years to come, like how I'm talking about the Lexus LFA decade after it came out. But then again, what do I know what makes a supercar special? I've not exactly got a supercar downstairs. It's a bloody white Fiesta.